Well, I didn't know we were that bad. I didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I knew this team had problems. I knew this team had flaws on every level of the roster. I knew that we had problems in our coaching staff. I knew this was not really a good team, but I didn't know we were that bad. 20-14 Colorado, and trust me when I say this, they controlled that whole game. They controlled the whole game. They were ahead or tied the whole 60 minutes. We never had a lead. We were down 13-0 and never really got on track after that. I know that we had a couple opportunities to go take the lead and make it a game, but it never really felt like we were in this. And I knew this Washington team wasn't good, but I didn't think they were this bad. And holy shit, they are. There's nothing you can say anymore. Uh, where do I start with this one, guys? This is probably the most. I thought the Stanford loss was bad. This is probably comparable, but other than the Stanford loss, this is definitely the most embarrassing loss because I feel like we got manhandled. Colorado, they ran the ball for over 200 yards, 5 yards a carry, just plowing us. Montez had an effective, efficient game through the air. Chenault Jr. 100-yard game, and he had the big 39-yard touchdown where our guy looked like he was in position to pick it off, and he just didn't make the play. And next thing you know, it's getting caught in the end zone. Their offense was great. Their offensive line dominated the game. Meanwhile, our offensive line was miserable. We couldn't pick up blitzes. Eason got sacked like 5 or 6 times. We couldn't run the ball at all. 32 yards of rushing. And I know college football's fucking stupid with the way they keep track of rushing stats, but 32 yards on 32 carries. Do the math. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So offensively, let's start with the offense because they're the side of the ball that has really just been not holding up their end of things over the past 10 quarters, really. The turnovers, the lack of production, the lack of successful quality drives, just awful. Just really, really bad. And tonight was probably the worst I have seen this offense because we didn't score until the third quarter. Our offensive line was basically terrible for the whole game. You can probably count on one hand the number of plays where the offensive line really did their job. And Easton was bad. The offensive line never really gave him a chance to be good, but Easton was bad. The receivers struggled to get open, which was part of the reason why Easton was bad as well. Um, I, there's so much to untangle with this offense, guys. I mean, obviously the offensive line was miserable tonight, but is their quarterback doing them any favors by doing that stupid back shoulder spin every time he gets pressured and just taking a 15-yard sack? I don't know. The running backs were terrible tonight, but is it all the offensive line's fault? I don't know. The receivers don't really look like they're getting open, but Eason's overthrowing them. Does he need to be fitting it in that tighter window? I don't know. Easton overthrew all those guys, but the receivers aren't getting separation, so I don't know where you start. And I don't know where we go from here, and I don't know what we do to fix it. Because every level of this offense was miserable tonight. And they've been lackluster for a good chunk of this season now. And tonight, even though we did put up 14 points, which is probably in terms of pure production, in terms of points, better than what we had against last week. I think it was Oregon State. I can't even remember who we played last week, but I think it was Oregon State, Arizona State. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. Whoever the hell we played last week, the offense was probably worse then, but this, I don't know. I don't know how to untangle this. I don't know who to blame. I do know that our offensive coordinator, I think his name is Westlake or something. I can't remember anything right now. I'm just irritated by how pathetic we looked. But in my opinion, The offensive coordinator probably needs to fall on the axe for this, but I don't know if it's even on him. These players might just be bad. This offensive line might be bad. These receivers are almost certainly bad, especially with no Pasua out there. With no God, who's the name of the Ty? God, I can't remember names. I can't remember team names right now. Sorry, guys. I'm just agitated because I'm starting to think this could be an ongoing problem going into next year because we have problems. And I don't know how to start in order to fix them because Eason, I don't know. I'm all over the place with Eason right now. He has not been good for 10 straight quarters now. But at the same time, I look at the rest of this team and I'm like, I kind of see why he's not good. I kind of see why he's having these problems. And, the receivers, they're going to refresh the receiver core next year and bring in some guys who are just capable of doing more things. But is Eason going to be better with them? I don't know. Offensive line, we're going to be losing Adams this offseason. How are we going to replace him? And how can we fix the rest of this line? I know we had a major injury early in this game, and that set us back, obviously. But it's like I don't want this team to be fixed in the offseason, and then we're stuck with the same mediocre quarterback who, is talented but doesn't have the mind for the game. I'm starting to worry that's what Eason is. So, I mean, tonight nobody on that offense, in my estimation, really did their job except for maybe Hunter Bryant. I thought Hunter had a good game. We did run two trick plays, which I liked, but neither worked. One of them, I think the ball just didn't get out there far enough for Hunter to make a play on it. The other one, nobody was fooled. But yeah, offense, we need a new coordinator. We need new receivers. We need to refresh the offensive line. I don't know what we do with Eason, though, and that's the most frustrating thing. I don't know if he's a real quarterback who just has a shit team around him, or I don't know if he's just somebody who doesn't have the passion for the game. I don't know, and that's the worst part of it. Defense, I'm not really going to bitch and moan about the defense. I think that they just don't have very good players. I think it is what it is. We lost guys last year. We didn't do a good job of replacing them this offseason. It happens. I get that. Some of these guys, they might be good next year. Some of these guys need to be put in backup roles. We need to bring in new recruits. We need some of the young guys who aren't playing very well right now to grow up quickly this offseason. We have no pass rush. We're bringing in a top recruit next year on the defensive line. Hope to God that he works out, but I don't know. I mean, the defense, they didn't get completely blasted tonight, but when they needed to get a stop at the end of the game, it wasn't happening. Secondary had several blown coverages, just dudes running wide open back there. Tackling was bad. I don't know. I don't know if this team was really engaged going to this game. I kind of felt very lackadaisical and lazy, and the fact that you can fall down 13-0 at halftime and not really do anything good until the third quarter. Maybe this team is just kind of checked out on this season, and I would not be totally shocked by that. I don't even totally blame them, but I don't know. I don't want to hear that from my team. I don't want to hear that from these guys who still have at least, well, actually at this point, definitely 2 games left. So it's tough, man, because this isn't the pros. This is not the NFL. There's no tanking. There's no benefit to losing. The only benefit to losing is that people might get fired who deserve to get fired. And like I said, I think the offensive coordinator will fall on the axe. Jimmy Lake, defensive guy. I don't want to put this on him. I don't think this should be on him. I just think that the players are not very good. We have a few guys who are good, but not enough. And the fact that we cannot rush the quarterback this year, the fact that we're not very good tacklers, the fact that a lot of our cornerbacks are young and not really ready to play solid from snap to snap, it's just too much. And they're just a little overmatched in most of these games. So I'm not going to put anything on Jimmy Lake. I just think we need a new infusion of talent on defense, but This offense, man. I can say the same about some parts of this offense, but I don't know about any of them now. The running backs, especially the quarterback, just it's not a good feeling, guys. It's not a good feeling. All right. I mean, obviously, this season is a waste anyway. Even if we win this game, we're not going anywhere. I get that. We are still going to make a crappy bowl game, still going to play the Apple Cup like we always do. And whatever happens, happens. And I've said before, I wanted this team to be bowl eligible, which they are, because I wanted them to play that one more game. But part of me just wants this season to be over. I mean, this is not fun. This is not fun to watch. This just sucks. So yeah, I'm pretty agitated right now. Not just because we lost this game, although losing to Colorado in these circumstances is embarrassing, and this team should feel really bad about it. I'm not happy because I don't know where this team goes. I don't know what we do this offseason to fix this. I mean, is it Chris Peterson, really? I mean, Chris Peterson's supposed to be the offense guy. This offense is miserable. If this is on him, I don't want to say you get rid of Chris Peterson, but he's got to do something better if this is on him because this offense is a joke. This offense was a joke tonight, man. All right. I tried to unpack all this, but there's so much going on with this Husky team this year, and it's not good. Apple Cup next week. I'd like to say I have a lot of confidence, but I don't. So I don't know. Just not a good season. Not really a fun season. I mean, congratulations to Colorado. They kept their bowl hopes alive tonight. I kind of discounted that when I was coming into this game. I wasn't really thinking about how Colorado would be driven to try to keep themselves bowl eligible, but I mean that's not an excuse. Not even close, right? Not for this team. Okay, that's enough. I'm gonna get out of here. Seahawks game is in 11 and a half hours. Gonna have some fun. Hopefully end this weekend on a high note. But right now, I'm pretty bummed out about the state of this program. Go, I mean, bow down to Washington, but right now they just make me mad. Peace.